By November 23rd, 1718, his head was hanging from the bowsprit of a Royal Navy ship, a grim trophy for the empire that had finally hunted him down. He had taken 5 musket balls and 20 sword cuts before he fell. They called him a demon, a devil with smoke coiling from his beard. They thought killing him would erase him. They were wrong. His name was Edward Teach, and the world remembers him as Blackbeard. He was born around 1680 in Bristol, England, the second busiest port in the kingdom, a city of tall ships, slave traders, and rough sailors. We do not know his real name with certainty. The records of common men were not kept. He may have been Edward Teach, or Thatch, or Drummond. Historians still argue. But this much is certain. He could read and write at a time when most sailors could not. Someone had taught him. Someone had given him an education. And then the sea had taken him. By his 20s, he was sailing the Caribbean as a privateer in Queen Anne's War, a legal pirate, hunting French and Spanish ships under a royal commission from the British Crown. He learned the trade in salt water and gunpowder. He learned how to fight. He learned how to win. And then, in 1713, the war ended. The commissions were canceled, and men like Edward had nowhere left to go. He went to Nassau. On a forgotten island in the Bahamas, hundreds of unemployed privateers had built something the world had never seen, a pirate republic. No king, no laws, only the black flag. By 1716, Edward had joined the crew of Captain Benjamin Hornigold, one of the most feared pirates in the Caribbean. He was 36 years old. He learned fast. Within a year, Hornigold trusted him with his own command. Then, in November 1717, Edward seized the prize that would change everything. La Concorde, a French slave ship, 300 tons, 20 guns captured off the coast of Martinique. He stripped her down, refitted her, and added 20 more cannons. He renamed her Queen Anne's Revenge. With 40 guns and 300 men, she was the most powerful pirate ship in the Atlantic. And the man who commanded her was no longer Edward Teach. He was something he had built himself, something designed to terrify. He was Blackbeard. He understood something that most pirates did not. Real power was not in cannon fire. It was in surrender without a fight. So he became a performance, a weapon shaped from smoke and shadow. He grew his thick black beard down to his chest and braided it into long pigtails tied with black ribbons. Before every battle, he tucked slow-burning fuses into the brim of his hat. They smoldered as he boarded enemy ships, coils of smoke wreathing his face as if he had walked out of hell itself. He carried 6 pistols across his chest, a heavy cutlass at his side, knives in his belt. Sailors who saw him dropped to their knees and surrendered before a single shot was fired. He took ship after ship along the American coast, 40 in less than a year, and most of them never even tried to fight back. By May 1718, Blackbeard was a legend. He had 4 ships, 400 men, and the audacity to do what no pirate had dared. He sailed Queen Anne's Revenge straight to the entrance of Charlestown Harbor, the wealthiest port in the southern colonies, and stopped. For nearly a week, he blockaded the city. Every ship that tried to enter or leave was captured. Wealthy passengers were taken hostage. The city panicked. Then he sent his demand to the governor. He did not want gold. He did not want jewels. He wanted a chest of medicine. His crew was sick, some say with syphilis, some with scurvy. Charlestown paid. Blackbeard sailed away with his medicine and his hostages. He had humiliated an entire colony and a king. Days later, off the coast of North Carolina, something strange happened. Blackbeard ran Queen Anne's Revenge aground in Beaufort Inlet. Some say it was an accident. Most historians believe it was deliberate, a way to break up his oversized crew, strand most of them on a sandbar, and disappear with the loot and a handful of loyal men. He sailed to the small port of Bath, North Carolina, and there he did the unthinkable. He surrendered. He accepted a royal pardon from Governor Charles Eden. He bought a house on the waterfront. He married a 16-year-old planter's daughter, his 14th wife, by some accounts. For a few months, Edward Teach pretended to be a respectable man, but the sea was still in him, and so was Blackbeard. He never truly stopped. From the marshes of Ocracoke Island, he resumed plundering, quietly, sharing the spoils with Governor Eden, who looked the other way. But the governor of the neighboring colony had no such patience. Alexander Spotswood of Virginia was a hard, ambitious man. He believed Eden was protecting a pirate, so he did something illegal. He sent 2 Royal Navy sloops under Lieutenant Robert Maynard into another colony's waters to hunt Blackbeard down. They found him on the morning of November 22, 1718. The fight was brutal. Maynard hid most of his men below deck. When Blackbeard boarded, expecting an empty ship, the sailors poured out from the hold. Edward fought like a man already dead. 5 musket balls, 20 sword cuts. He was still swinging when he finally fell. Maynard cut off his head and hung it from the bowsprit of his sloop. Then he sailed back to Virginia, the trophy of an empire that had finally won. He had been a pirate for less than 2 years. Less than 2 years. And yet 3 centuries later, when the world pictures a pirate, it sees him. The black beard, the smoke, the cutlass, the flag. Every fictional captain, every story of the high seas, all of it traces back to a man from Bristol who chose to become a monster on purpose. In 1996, divers found Queen Anne's Revenge off the coast of North Carolina. The ship had finally been found. The legend had never been lost.